Hi guys, this is F1 and let's talk lighters. Before we get started tonight on the topic, I wanted to go ahead and address an issue that some people have kind of raised with me. I've been getting quite a few comments about the length of my nails. As you can see right now, they are trimmed, to a normal length. The videos in question were made about 6 months ago, approximately, and back then my nails were obscenely long. No particular reason why, I just rear them out for one reason or another, and that's why, that's the way that it showed up. I can assure you of two things. Number one, I am not a woman. I am definitely a man, and well, yeah, like I said, I'm not a woman at all, and I'm not a goth or anything else. I just had long nails for a little while, and a lot of people noted that. Anyway, they're back to normal length. So, on to the topic of tonight's video. So, much like a candle, a Zippo lighter uses a wick to burn. The fuel channels up the wick and is ignited, and that's how it burns. This is different from a butane lighter like a Bic or a butane torch, yada yada yada. Another topic for a different night. What I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight was the fact that you can, in fact, adjust the flame on a Zippo windproof lighter. Contrary to what some people have said, you can adjust it. You're not going to find a valve or a nozzle or a screw like what you're going to find on our friend the Jetline Dante. As you can see on the right, or right here, or on your left, there is a screw, and you'll notice that you can kind of um, turn this little valve here left or right, and that will increase or decrease the flame size. There are a number of reasons to increase and decrease the flame size. A lot of people think that a bigger flame looks cool. Ooh, macho man, I've got a massive flame coming out of my lighter. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. But the reality is that a bigger flame burns more fuel. So some people prefer a smaller flame. Conserves fuel, does the job, so not as visually impressive, but it'll still light what you're trying to light. So the length here on this Zippo is the standard length. I bought this one at Walmart, just took it out of the box, and so this one hasn't been modified. I haven't even filled it with fuel. So that's just that. So it's about halfway up the chimney, no more, no less. These other two lighters here have been extensively modified. I've played with the wicks to kind of give the desired effect. These two lighters, they're two brushed brass lighters. You have seen them before if you watch my videos. They were both F of 11, that one there, and F of 11, that one there. So they're the exact same lighter. I bought them at the exact same time. However, this one here has a little tiny flint, or wick, I want to say flint, little tiny wick down there at the bottom, as you can tell. Very small, not very big. This one has got a wick sticking right at the top. So, as you can tell, this one is going to burn with a much bigger flame, whereas this one's going to have a small one. And I'm doing this to demonstrate just, the size variations that you can get. And then I'm also going to talk about exactly how you can adjust that flame. I'm going to be doing another video where I go into a more labor-intensive process of how to adjust it, a little bit more precise than what I'm doing here tonight, but that's that. So this one's going to be a quick little tutorial about how to do it, and then I'm going to take off, and then we're going to go into much more detail either tonight or tomorrow, depending upon how things go. So why don't we go ahead and get started and light these things. So this one is the little one. So as you can tell, when you light it, there's not much of a flame at all. It's very, very, very small, very, very, very weak. It's a pretty good sized flame. It'll still light what you're trying to light, but it's not going to put on a big pizzazz show, if you will. But you're also going to conserve a lot more fuel than you will if you have a tall wick. So that's definitely one option. So a lot of soldiers have done this before to kind of conserve the fuel because it was in such short supply. Now for the fun one. So as you can tell, we're burning a lot of fuel, but that's the show. So, make you look like a badass, I guess, if you think that. But we're burning a lot of fuel, and the flame is starting to shrink a little bit according to demonstrate that. So basically, how do we do it? How exactly do you take this average sized flame and either make it insanely small or insanely big? Well, it's very simple, really. I made a video about how to trim a Zippo wick, and that's basically what you're going to do. Because the wick is the only thing that actually lights on the lighter, that's really the only thing you have any control of when it comes to actually playing with. So for this particular one, as you know, they're both the exact same lighter, like I said. But in order to effectively get a bigger flame, all you do is you simply reach in there like that and pull. And see how the wick is coming up? So now, instead of having a little weenie flame, we have a much bigger flame. It's about average now. You're going to burn more fuel, but there you go. You know, this is a much more average flame, and all I did was simply pull the wick up. Nothing big. Now, in order to get the bigger flame, you just keep pulling up and up and up into the stratosphere until you're out of wick. But you'll get a pretty big flame, but you won't have much wick left, and you'll burn up your fuel that quick. So anyway, that's all that I've got for tonight. That was a simple version. Tomorrow I'm going to be showing you a much more complicated version about how to basically bring a wick down a little bit without having to sacrifice so much. This is the easy way. Tomorrow's way is going to be a lot more involved, a lot more complicated. So that's all that I've got for this particular one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I love doing this, and I love the feedback, even if it's about my wonderful nails. So I guess you guys are paying attention. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to hit me up, email me, and I will see you guys tomorrow night with another installment about how to adjust the flame on a zippo. Have a great night, guys.